I think generally it's very important for the top players, right? How can they recover in a Blitz tournament, for example? Just within minutes, they have to recover and forgive themselves what they have done. I mean, losing on time, right? That's the kind of the worst possible scenario can happen to you, especially if you're such a player like Nakamura. And I think this resilience is so important for the players, and they have it all.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. They're superhuman almost. They are able to shut down all emotions and focus on the moves, focus on the board, forget the past. For me, that's the most difficult thing. But we do indeed see Fabiano Caruana against Magnus Carlsen for different poses. I think they're both itching to get going. And predictions for this game?
Ooh, Magnus wins. If I want him to win the tournament, if I want to give at least the chance of it that he completes my prediction, then he has to win this game, actually, all the game.
Yeah, and Blitz Chess, I remember in the Speed Chess Championship last year, Magnus cruised to victory and won nearly all of their games. And okay, it's only 2 moves in, 3 moves in, but it's the English opening and a very provocative start from Magnus Carlsen. He's moved the black bishop a couple of times. White's knights have danced into the center of the board. Still a well-known position, of course, but with a reputation of being slightly better for White. And Fabi, starting with the English, shows he really wants to win as well.
And there he goes. You know, he's chasing away the dark square. Bishop was threatening to take the center. And one thing that I found very interesting in Fabiano's podcast, he kind of talked about how he rationalizes his losses and these big moments. And he just kind of just says, well, you know, it's no big deal. I've suffered worse defeats in my career, and I'm just going to move forward. And there you can see the players just simply developing. It seems very straightforward for both sides at the minute.
Yeah, Judith, it looks like a reverse Sicilian. Looks like a Sicilian with colours kind of swapped here. Who do you prefer?
I think Magnus should be happy for this opening because it's going to be a very complicated game with a lot of options, plans, complications. And this is something what you want to have, right? You don't want to play Rai Lopez or Italian even. It has more life in this position. That's what I would think, that he's going to bring back his bishop to d6. Then he's going to be developing knight d7, knight f8. Somehow it seems to me that there is kind of an easy play for black also.
Yeah, there we go. He does drop back his bishop, preserving those pieces. Black center, I think it's been a huge success for Magnus Carlsen right now. But Fabi advancing on the queenside, b4. Still yet to be decided how black is going to develop. And, okay, first putting pressure on those advanced white pawns.
Yeah, now white is asked, do you want to play bishop b2, rook b1, or you want to play b5?
Well, he answered by pushing his pawn. I mean, what do you think about that? Because it does give the opportunity for black to lock down in the center, as he's done. I like it too. I'm a big center person, and you give me pawns in the center, I'm just completely ecstatic.
Yeah, now big decision. Okay, Magnus does trade knights, leaving white with doubled e-pawns, and yeah, as you predicted,
look what a pass pawn black had.
He's locked it in, protected pass pawn, and that's going to be a thorn in white's side for the rest of the game. You don't even necessarily want to capture this pawn in the center because it will just be replaced by a fellow pawn. Black will gain control of some more squares, and white's knight is going to act as a blockader. There we go, onto d3, sitting on a nice pretty square. It's still yet to be seen the breakthrough, but Magnus goes for it.
Look at that. 5.
This is my kind of chess.
It's not a joke.
No, it really is not. I mean, it's it's actually really serious because you can't capture the pawn on f5 because, of course,
it's like
e5, e4 is coming.
Let out the lion of the cage.
Yeah, I've learned a lesson here. I'm never going to doubt Judith's predictions.
Yeah, huge success for Magnus Carlsen, and okay, here you can choose.
He takes d4.
Yeah, there we go, he does, and white's just blockading. Oof, Judith, you want to be out there, you want to be there at the board, don't you?
I don't know, but knight f6, even sometimes it's confusion whether you want to take on e4 later or you want to play f4 and g5 and g4 and just go for it. No, the very solid h6.
Yeah, because he wants your knight f6, but doesn't want to allow the possibility of bishop g5 pinning that knight. It's nice. This is Magnus at his best.
Yeah,
he's back in business.
He's back in the flow. Again, you can't take this pawn because black advances pawn to e4 with a fork. One of the white minor pieces will drop off. But yeah, what else do you do with Fabi? You could just move your rook into the center, but that won't change anything.
Somehow you want to push c5. That's the only thing I would think of with white.
If you go down, you might as well go down fighting, right?
Well,
I have another. Oh no, now it's been taken away from me. But I did think that it was possible to go bishop
g5.
Oh, g5. That scares the living daylights out of me. I don't know how I'd handle that.
g5, g3.
G3, yeah.
White can escape with the bishop. Step g3
Yeah, maybe
and
I'm a
cut
little
back.
over-optimistic on that.
Magnus just develops, hitting a pawn. Very sensible stuff. Maybe he's going to reroute his bishop kind of via f7 round this way to put
No, I'm
more
not
pressure.
sure. Sometimes the bishop on c8 stands better, more powerful than on e6, because blocking the rook, I mean, it has its drawbacks. At the same time, I completely understand that he wants to have connection between the rooks and development, just to have everything.
Yeah.
Bishop f7 I like, though, with bishop g6 idea.
And Fabi now moving to under a minute, which does, of course, play a factor in your psychological state.
Yeah, I think it was just those huge blows of throwing all the pawns forward for black. Fabi, it's hard to react when your opponent does that. Your opponent's just kind of going for you, and it takes 30 seconds just to kind of figure out what to do, let alone actually kind of calculate. And here we go, Fabi playing a move like a4, non-committal, useful of course, but it cost him a lot of time, 30 seconds now for him. And Magnus just continues bringing all his pieces.
c5. Eventually c5 will happen, but probably black is forcing c5, so it takes everything on e4 and bishop d5.
Yeah, that's
then e4.
And you say thank you for the light
Yeah.
squares. And actually, you might see it happen right now because the players are following that line you mentioned, Judith.
Yeah.
Yeah, take, bishop d5 and e4. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the kind of position you want to get away, run away with white pieces. You don't want these challenges.
You kind of want to go, let's take back. This didn't work out.
Those pawns are rolling. Ooh, queen e1.
I would go queen g4 at least to have one active piece.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Magnus doesn't care about the a5 pawn. Instead, he's just motoring forward with his pawns.
He could take on c5. No, he just wants to smash.
He wants to checkmate. The pawns are rolling.
Is e3 something to think about, or could you go?
Whether it works or not, it's just too tempting.
Yeah.
Yeah, or just play e3 and then bishop c5.
Exactly.
Yeah, this pawn
But
also
there's
hanging.
a lot of temptation.
And
Queen f5 is very powerful also.
well, there we can see it's bishop d2 given a question mark, and Magnus centralizing the queen,
I think that's,
getting out of harm's way.
yeah, really instructive. He's not calculating. He's saving his time for later. Magnus probably had a direct win. He could have thrown pawns forward, but why burn time? Why take big risks there? He's won the pawn back, level material, and look at his center.
And look at Fabi's clock time, just making moves with seconds left on the clock. And Magnus has an overwhelming position. And are we going to see another trade of rooks? No.
Oh. E3 we're gonna see.
Yes.
Just in a second.
I'm waiting for it.
Well, not yet. Maybe bishop c5 back.
Here it comes.
Yeah, and that white king is being shorn of its protection here. Go on, Judith, you've spotted something.
No, I thought that I wouldn't like to leave the bishop on a7, so white can play b6. That's the only thing worries.
Isn't e2
Yeah,
be a
queen
killer,
c7, yeah.
killer blow? Yeah.
Oh wow, some tactics, some huge tactics against the white king. The white knight's acting as a blockader, trying to plug that diagonal. But okay, at least Fabi's found a way to lock out black's bishop and trade some pieces.
I wouldn't be happy with black when white bishop on e4. Simply, maybe in g5 and bishop d5.
Yeah, I think we're going to see that happen right now. And we see white's knight has left the board. And both players, seconds left. Fabi, no time. Oh, he's lost on time.
But I'm afraid that was not the only problem.
To get checkmated on the light squares, but yeah, too slow. The clock deciding this game as well. And still some action going in the other ones, as we do see.